This was me at 17. I used to work super long shifts at a restaurant, exhausted, earning way below minimum wage. And with all that effort, at the end of the month, I had nothing left. But just a few years later, people would pay me tens of thousands a month just for a couple hours of my time every week. Because of this, I realized working hard isn't enough to make you rich. But in this video, I'll show you what is. In our normal life, there are two types of people we come across. The first group make a lot of money. They live in fancy apartments, driving nice cars, but they have nothing to their name. I knew a guy making $1 million every year. He spent like crazy, and when his income dried up, he was left with nothing. Then there's another guy I knew, a teacher earning a modest living. This guy wears simple clothes, drives a normal car, but has assets. So as soon as he saved up enough, he bought a house. So what's the difference between them? One spends, one stacks. Did you know that 60% of Americans live month to month? That means most people don't save anything. Because of this, here's how I look at my money. For every month I work, how many months am I actually buying back? If it costs you $3,000 a month to live, and at the end of every month you've saved $3,000, congrats, you've bought yourself 1 month of freedom doing so. But for most people, a month of time spent results in zero actual progress. The average person saves 5% of their income. So in the previous example, 30 days of work buys you back just 1.5 days. You don't want to get to a point where you're spending so many years of your life not even buying back a couple months. And as time passes, your cost of living will only increase. But your savings won't change unless you make them. By the way, if you're looking for better jobs that actually pay you what you're worth, I put together a jobs list. If you're interested, click the link in the description below. When you think of rich people, you think they were born into money. But actually, most rich people started out like the rest of us. They worked ordinary jobs. So there are two main ways to actually get rich. Let's say you spend a good few years earning and keeping as much as possible, like $100K. The first option you have is pretty easy. You put your money into an index fund, like the S&P 500, and make 10% a year. That's the average return over the last 100 years. The second way is to buy a house. Let's say you want to buy a $500K place. What you do is you put $100K down as a deposit and get the rest of the money from the bank. The aim is to rent out the place, and the money you get should cover the mortgage payment every month. So the way you make money until the mortgage is paid off is from the growth in the value of that property. Returns on property are much lower than index funds. The average home in the US increases by 5% every year. So 5% on $500K every year is $25,000. That's a 25% annual return on your cash. If you're going to work hard and make money, you might as well put it into something that will make you money without having to put more effort. Because these days everyone's trying to chase the next crypto, only to lose it on Melania coin. I don't think a house is a wonderful investment, but I know that if I buy a house at 20, by the time I'm 30, it'll be worth a lot more, and I don't need to spend time on it. Because if you invest your cash into safe assets, at least in the early days, no matter what happens over the next 5-10 years, and you'll always have the opportunity to take more risks. So the rule is take risks with your time, not with your money. Thinking back to my restaurant days, I realized that working hard isn't the issue for most people. The mistake most people make is doing something for a living without thinking deeply about it beforehand. If you're trying to choose a focus area, you need to do something that compounds in value. To get rich, you can't be a barista working 10 hours a day. But you could be a salesperson who eventually earns millions a year because no one can sell better than you. The thing is, most people spend years and years working on something that rewards them basically nothing. And I'm not saying if it doesn't work out, quit. Sometimes you'll never know until you keep trying. And if you're watching this thinking, I work way too hard and might need to change paths to actually get rich, don't worry about it. I was about to be in a cubicle office for the rest of my life until I figured out how to get jobs without a resume. In fact, I landed 8 full-time jobs doing what I talk about in a video called Why You Can't Find a Job. Check it out.